Good morning, students. Students, today we will study our new chapter, lesson number 7, India during the Maurya period. The points that we are going to study today are the Greek Emperor Alexander's invasion, and next is the Maurya Empire. Students, I will read the lesson paragraph by paragraph and explain you all accordingly. Please pay attention. 7.1 The Greek Emperor Alexander's invasion. Alexander, the Greek Emperor, invaded India's northwestern frontier in 326 BCE. Crossing the Indus Sindhu River, he reached Takshashila. On the way, he met with forceful opposition from the local Indian kings. He defeated them all and successfully reached the Punjab. However, in this invasion, his army had to suffer severe hardships. The soldiers were eager to go back home. They rebelled against Alexander and he was forced to turn back. He therefore appointed Greek officers to administer the conquered territories. They were called satraps. He started his return journey but died on the way back in 323 BCE at Babylon. Today, Babylon is in Iraq. So students, the Greek king Alexander defeated the Iranian empire and then entered in India to take control of it in 326 BCE. Okay. On his way, Alexander faced opposition when he was conquering India's region slowly. On his way, Alexander faced opposition from the Indian kings. Okay. Means the Indian kings were not allowing Alexander to take control on the areas in India. Okay. But Alexander won and successfully reached Punjab. Okay. However, in this invasion, Alexander's army had to face severe hardship. Means they were not having enough food or things. Okay. They were facing problems. Okay. Or they were not getting foods that were necessary for them. Okay. So they were facing hardship. So because of these, they started facing problems. That is why they wanted to go back home. Okay. Thus, they forced Alexander to go back home. They forced Alexander that we should go back home in our own country. Okay. Then Alexander decided to go back to Greece. Okay. Alexander decided to go back to home. But before leaving, he appointed before leaving the place, Alexander appointed Greek officers which are called as satraps. Okay, he appointed satraps to control the conquered Indian territories. So whichever territories Alexander had conquered till now, he appointed Greek officers to take care to control those territories. Okay. After this, Alexander started his return journey to Greece. Greece. Okay. He started the return journey to Greek. Okay. But on his way back in 323 BCE, he died at Babylon. When he reached the place Babylon, he died over there. Okay. This Babylon place is in Iraq. Okay. Yes. So now let's move on to the next paragraph. Alexander's campaign led to an increase in the trade between India and the Western world. The historians who accompanied Alexander introduced India to the Western world through their writings. Greek sculpture influenced Indian art, giving rise to the Gandhara school of art. The Greek kings minted characteristic coins. On one side, a picture of a Greek god. On one side, the coin had a picture of the king who had minted the coin, and on the other side, a picture of a Greek god. The name of the king was also written on the coin. Alexander's coins were of the same type. Later, Indian kings also started minting similar coins. So students, Alexander's campaign means the Alexander's people increased the trade between India and Western world. Okay. These people came to India with Alexander. Okay. They introduced India to the Western world through their writings. Okay. Greek sculpture influenced Indian art, which gave rise to the Gandhara school of art. Okay. Students, the Greek kings minted coins. They minted coins where one side of the coins had a picture of the king who minted the coin. Okay. And on the other side of the coins, they had a picture of a Greek god. Okay. Students, the name of the king was also written on the coin. Okay. King Alexander's coin were in same type. Okay. You can see the picture in your book. Students, later on, the Indian kings also started minting same type of coins. Okay, where one side of the coin had a picture of a god and the other side of the coin had the picture of the king who minted the coin, and also the king name was written on the coin. Okay. Yes. Now let's move on to the next paragraph. The Maurya Empire. Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta Maurya founded the Maurya Empire. People were tired of the tyrannical rule of the Nanda king of Magadha, Dhanananda. Chandragupta Maurya brought it to an end and established his own rule in Magadha around 325 BCE. He won Avanti and Saurashtra and began to extend the boundaries of his empire. After Alexander's death, a struggle for power began among the satraps he had appointed. Seleucus Nicator was Alexander's general. He became the king of Babylon after Alexander's death. He invaded the northwest frontier region of India and the Punjab. Chandragupta Maurya successfully resisted his aggression. The defeat of Seleucus Nicator led to the inclusion of the northwest region of Kabul, Kandahar and Herat in the Maurya Empire. Megasthenes, Seleucus Nicator's ambassador, stayed back at Chandragupta Maurya's court. His book Indica is an important source for the study of India during the Maurya period. There is an inscription stating that Emperor Chandragupta Maurya had built a dam called Sudarshan near Junagadh in Gujarat state. So students, Chandragupta Maurya founded the Maurya Empire. Okay. Chandragupta Maurya ended the torturing rule. Now here tyrannical means torturing. Okay. So Chandragupta Maurya ended the torturing rule of the king Dhanananda. Okay, Dhanananda was a torturing king. So Chandragupta Maurya ended this torturing rule of the king Dhanananda and founded the Maurya rule in Magadha. In which place? Magadha. Okay. He founded the Maurya Empire in Magadha around 325 BC. Okay. His rule extended up to Avanti in Madhya Pradesh to Saurashtra in the west. Okay. After the death of the king Alexander, there were many conflicts in the Indian territory for the power among the satraps appointed by Alexander. Okay, in the last paragraph, the paragraph before this, we studied that Alexander died. Alexander, before leaving the place, Alexander had appointed the satraps to take control on the conquered territories in India. Okay, and then after the Alexander left that place. Okay, so after the death of the Alexander, the conflict started between the satraps for the power. Okay, the conflict started in the Indian territories for the power between the satraps. Okay, Seleucus Nicator was Alexander's general. Okay. After the death of Alexander, he became the king of Babylon after the death of Alexander. Okay. Chandragupta Maurya defeated Seleucus Nicator and took control over the northwest region of Kabul, Kandahar and Herat in the Maurya Empire. Okay, so here Chandragupta Maurya, he defeated Seleucus Nicator and took control over northwest region of Kabul, Kandahar and Herat in the Maurya Empire. Okay, Seleucus Nicator sent his ambassador Megasthenes to the court of Chandragupta. Okay, Megasthenes wrote a book called Indica, and that book is an important source for the study of the India during the Maurya period. Okay, students, there is an inscription which says that Chandragupta Maurya had built a dam called Sudarshan. Okay, Chandragupta Maurya, he had built a dam called Sudarshan near Junagadh in Gujarat state. Okay. Now let's move on to the next paragraph. Emperor Ashoka. After Chandragupta renounced the throne, he was succeeded by his son Bindusara. After Bindusara's death, his son Ashoka succeeded to the throne in 273 BCE. Ashoka had been appointed the governor of Takshashila and Ujjain before he came to the throne. As the governor, he had successfully crushed the revolt at Takshashila. After becoming the emperor of Magadha, he launched a campaign against the state of Kalinga. Kalinga occupied the region of today's Odisha state. Emperor Ashoka conquered Kalinga. Ashoka's empire extended from Afghanistan in the northwest and Nepal in the north of Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh in the south, and from Bengal in the east of Saurashtra in the west. So students, after Chandragupta Maurya, his son Bindusara became the king. Okay. After Bindusara, his son Ashoka became the king in 273 BCE. Okay. Ashoka was the governor of Takshashila and Ujjain before he became a king. Okay. Ashoka had crushed a rebellion in Takshashila. Okay. He became the emperor of Magadha. Okay. Emperor Ashoka conquered Kalinga. His empire extended to Kabul in northwest, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh in the south, Bay of Bengal in the east and Saurashtra in the west. Okay. So this is all that we studied in this paragraph. We saw in this paragraph. Next paragraph is the Kalinga War. Ashoka was deeply moved by the bloodshed of the Kalinga War. He decided never to wage a war again. He came to believe that truth, non-violence, compassion, and forgiveness were the important values. Ashoka wanted to spread these teachings among the common people, and therefore he had pillar edicts and stone inscriptions engraved throughout his kingdom. These writings are in the Brahmi script. In these inscriptions, he is referred to as Devanapyo Piyadasi, beloved of the gods, and he who looks on with affection. Another inscription states that 8 years after he ascended the throne, he made the conquest of Kalinga and had a change of heart on seeing the devastation it caused. In inscription of Emperor Ashoka at Delhi, Tobda shows that he had put strict restrictions on the hunting of bats, monkeys, rhinoceroses, and on setting fire to forests. So students, Ashoka fought a war against Kalinga, okay, that took it under his control during, okay, Ashoka fought a war against Kalinga to take it under his control, okay. During this war, he was moved by the bloodshed of the people, okay, and decided never to fought a war again, okay. He was moved means when he saw people dying, okay, when he saw the fighting, when he saw people dying, he was moved by it and then decided never to wage a war again, never to fought a war, never to fight a war again, okay. He started believing that truth, non-violence, compassion, and forgiveness are the important values, okay, that we should follow, okay. He wanted to spread his teachings and values among the common people. That is why he engraved the values throughout his kingdoms. Okay, he engraved the values, he engraved the teachings throughout his kingdom. Okay, his writings, whatever he had written, whatever he has engraved, his writings are in Brahmi script. Okay, in this inscription he is referred to as Devanapyo Piyadasi, means he is beloved of the gods, okay, and he who looks on with affection, okay. One of the inscription of Emperor Ashoka in Delhi Tobda shows that he had put restrictions on not to hunt. He had put restriction on hunting, okay. He had stated in that inscription that people should not hunt bats, monkeys, rhinoceroses and not to set fire to forest. Okay, so this is all that is there in this paragraph. Now let's see the next paragraph.